comfrey leaves and put on our garden beds. And I harvested really contain toilet paper and pads. So let's look at it. So it is, I'll show you the bottom first. So that's for the toilet paper roll and that's for the pads. And it's going to go in the bathroom and live in the bathroom. You can see how much light you can see through it. It needs to be hammered down. So it's got red osier dogwood on top of green willow and brown willow. Kind of pretty. I have this color willow to use next. Today the leaves are falling. I was thinking of putting the camera where it could just watch the leaves fall, but not yet. Not yet, not yet, not yet. I need another rod up there. Well, good morning, Tyler. How are you this morning? You're up bright and early, or is it early anymore? So I thought I would clean up my kitchen. I'm taking everything out of this cupboard here to get rid of all the bugs. So I haven't gotten them all out yet. As you can see, more jars. Maybe I can reach them with my feet. Ha ha ha, look at that. Well, but then lifting them is a job unto itself. So I don't think I will. I have to get them out of here so I can vacuum it. Out comes another one. I hadn't thought about using my feet before. This is a very good idea. Uh-oh, that one's contaminated, isn't it? Reach in with our foot again. Remembering your old house, you had those rolls of cans up in the air. Wasn't that great? I can't do that here because that would be considered, I don't know. Oh my goodness, cleaning out cupboards is nothing I usually do, you know? That's why I bring you along, so it's evidence. I did something. So our Thanksgiving is the next weekend. It coincides with the leaves in Canada. We don't have the same one as they have in Georgia because after all, Georgia isn't even having changing leaves for a long time, is it? Pulling another one out with my foot. This is hard work. These kind of cupboards are not very accessible, you know? There should be a better way. I suppose those rolling things, or you know what I mean, those Lazy Susans in there would be good. All right, well, that's enough of that. I want to put something in my Instant Pot, but my Instant Pot is in the sink. And you know how that is, right? Once something is in the sink, it's got to be washed before you can actually do something with it. So, how's life? 8:45. Who's going to go out and cut grass? It's getting colder every hour today. Every hour. It's a little colder than the hour before. Hi, Suze. Good morning. in the sun. About ready to get my lily whites. Lily whites, that's what we used to call our hands. So I guess that's probably not a socially acceptable thing to say anymore. Not all hands are big. Alright. Now then. I decided my scrapers are not really scratchy anymore. So perhaps I should have another package in here. Thank you. This is one of these cupboards, you know. Cupboards being what they are. Ah, I found them. One of the little ones. Trying to heat up the water there. You put things back in the first place you look for them. Because that's where you're going to find them. Okay. Well then, let's get to business here. It's going to fall. There we go. Water is now hot enough. I don't like this way it does that. I like it best when it's just going straight. I thought, you know, if I could just do the dishes every single day, I'd never have them piling up. At least I don't think I will. Sometimes I do anyway. So thank you very much, Suze, for encouraging me to spin. I am really into spinning now. This is my new fun thing to do. But sometimes it's really tight, which means that it's not drawing fast enough, or I'm spinning too fast, spinning the wheel too fast, or don't have enough tension on the draw. Look at this, we're almost ready. I have been doing the dishes frequently, so there aren't too many. So these buds, I had them in my almonds, so I washed them thoroughly, changed the water many times, used salt and vinegar, and I got rid of the bugs, and then I dehydrated, put them in the dehydrator to dry them down back to the normal size. So when you do stuff in the Instant Pot, I don't usually cook meat. So it's always vegetables and beans and whatever. So you can put it in the Instant Pot and cook it and then eat it that day and the next day from the Instant Pot. But the day after that is the day it's going to go off. So if you want to, you either have to separate it and freeze it, put it in little jars. That's always a good idea. And then you can freeze them. And then use them later when you want them again. So if you're going to do it, if you make too much, you know, you have to figure out how much can you eat in a day. Right? How much will you eat in a day? Okay, pot is ready. So now let's make something in here. I'm going to put it on, I'm going to cook it for 40 minutes because this is going to be soybeans. Probably doesn't need 40 minutes. 20 will probably do, but 40 is good. It'll always be cooked well enough if you give it 40. And where's that? All right, so, yes. So it'll be 3 times as big as it was when you started. And you know, if you have a great big pot, you don't want to put in 1/3 of a cup. You know, but you got to think about it. Who's going to eat it? How much can you eat? How much do you want to eat? Soybeans will usually give you some gas. So 1/3 of a cup will make 1 cup. So let's do another 1/3 of a cup. I don't have enough room in here. That's always on. There's no water in it. Quick, let's go get some water in it. We have to use water from the bathroom because the rest of the water in the house is softened. You can't drink softened water, you know. Okay, let's go get some water. I'll be right back. They usually say you need to use 3 cups for each 1 cup. But alright, I'm just going to cook those in there because I don't want to have to am I getting a migraine? I can't see very well. I can't see myself. I think this might be the beginning of a migraine. Oh, well. All right, let's finish these dishes up. So I have to teach Relief Society on Sunday, and it needs to be a talk from General Conference. So I was really impressed with President Nelson's talk. I can't remember which one of them. I think he spoke a few times. It might have been Saturday afternoon or Sunday morning. No, can't remember. Now, what's the best way? Oh, I just got an idea. The best way to put these jars in there is to line them up according to what's in them. So if I put all of the yellow or the red split pea jars, split not peas, yellow or red lentils, if I put them all in a line in that cupboard, then I can access the one easily, and I can do that with other things, but most of them I don't have that many of one thing. Is that top thing down? No. Have to close the vent. All right, I guess I'm getting a migraine since I can't see my face. Oh well. I've been trying to upload videos. You know, I made videos at the Grass Hut one day, and I made like 6 videos, and I put them in every day, or I turn them on to upload, and it takes, the one yesterday, it was like 11%, 17%, and by the time I went to bed last night, it was like 28%. Yeah, this is definitely going to be a migraine. Okay, then. I just get the auras, so it's not going to last that long. So what should I do in the meantime? Ah, I know. I can play my violin. I can do that without looking. I wonder what it's like outside. Want to go outside? It's not too bad right now. It's pretty nice. I've got my... Hi, Fiona. This doesn't seem to be tightening up here. There. That's better. So let's just check this and see how... 41%. Takes forever to upload videos, you know. Absolutely forever. So I've gotten into spinning. Look what I found. Remember I told you about these? So I'm going to make the basket this part of it. But not today. I think I'll sit here and spin for a while. But if you say something, I can't see what you're saying. How are we going to do this? This is such a difficult thing when I do this like this. Maybe I'll turn this around. There. I think this light needs to be on up here too. Which way does the light go on this one? Okay. We have a burned out bulb here. What is that about? We shall remove it. One moment, please. I'll just drop this in the bag. Hey, you want to see all my yarn I've spun? Thank you so much, Suze. Look at that. Well, there goes one. 1, 2, some are very tight. 3, 4, 5, 6 is a little one. 7 and 8. So let's see if we can do some spinning here. And I can't really see things very well. Okay, so it's here, that's fine. Let's start with this. Oh, I should be pulling. Oh, this isn't on. Oh, now nothing's on. use string. But the tying the string is difficult, you know. So I've learned a few more things about spinning. Like, you should let it draw in quickly, because otherwise you get too much spin in it if you just keep going around and round. I think that the nicest way to spin is to use roving. I wonder if I can do it without looking. Well, it's too thin there. So if you look, when you're... Now, don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe. Oops, what's happened now? Why isn't it not moving? Come on. Why isn't it spinning? What's wrong? Well, if it's not spinning and you're getting too much spin in it, make your thing go longer so the spin will come backwards and it won't be too tight. If it's too tight, you end up with a hard cord instead of a soft, fluffy fleece. Okay, pull it in. There we go. In she goes. If you have lumps, sometimes they're nice. If you go very thin, you won't have lumps, and sometimes you have to go thin to get rid of all the lumps. But you know, the lumps make it fluffy. They make your yarn more fluffy. But you have to make sure you don't let too much spin in there. You have to be careful you don't let your wheel go too much. See, when it stops twisting like that, you're back here, but it's not twisting. You have to pull it a little thinner. There's a bit of crap in it. Nature. Don't let go of it when it gets really short, or else you have to do that thing again. All right, why aren't you turning? What's going on here? Why is it getting stuck in place? Keep going, go. Maybe it, ooh. Oh dear, if it gets too thin. Today it's dropping a degree every hour. Oh, here's that cat. Oh, this is the kitten. Waiting for the birds. Oh, that was too thin and it broke right off. Sometimes when it gets too thin, it's hard to find it on the spool. So what's wrong here? Oh, I think there's some stuff stuck here in the crack. I can't see it. Because when you get a migraine aura, it blinds you. Usually you see a curve. You don't see anything. Usually you see this bright line, a crooked bright line that's there, but there's nothing there. Oh wait, there it is. Oh well. I usually get a migraine after the finish of something very stressful. So I was going to go to Georgia. Well, I didn't really know if I was going to do it or not. My niece is getting married. And so that's up in the mountains in Georgia, which is nowhere near the airport, which meant that I was going to have to rent a car from the airport and go up to Ellijay and then back down to the airport to go home. And I'm not familiar with renting cars. It's not something I do. So if I didn't rent a car, if I just flew down there, well, my sister might be, we might land at the same time, or we might not, or one of us might be delayed and the other wouldn't. And anyway, so actually arriving there at the same time and renting the car together might not really work. She rents cars all the time. She's very familiar with that. Anyway, so she's also got a very tight schedule. She's a vice president of a big deal company on aging, longevity. It's Calico. Anyway, so she does a lot of that sort of thing because she travels all over. And they're developing a pill people can take that will get rid of all the dead cells in their body. And the dead cells are what's causing us to get old. Isn't that amazing? So it would help us to be healthy while we live. I'm not sure if it would extend the lifespan. Probably would. But it would certainly keep us healthy. And I think with what's coming, the future with all of its stuff that's going to happen, the prophet says that this future is bright and we are going to see the arm of the Lord, the magnificent power of the Lord will be revealed. When I heard that, I just started to cry. All I could think about was tornadoes and hurricanes and all that stuff. But anyway, I suppose it's all good stuff too. He's happy. Anyway, that's who my sister is. But so I was going to go to Georgia, and I couldn't figure out the rental car thing. I do have a few friends down there. Would they pick me up at the airport and take me to Ellijay? I have a friend that lives in Ellijay. I can't remember her name. She was the one that got me started with Nancy Today University. She said, Nancy, I've watched so many of your videos. I think I need a diploma. My Nancy Today University degree. Haha, isn't that funny? Having eyesight really makes a difference. This will be over in a little while. So the other alternative, if I couldn't figure out the car situation, then I can't fly. I don't like flying anyway because it's so many trees you need to plant. I can't plant that many trees. So I don't want to fly. So then I would drive. Of course, driving, I have an old car, which is probably polluting. But so if I drove, I would have to sit in the car for 15 hours. I could break it up over a few days. I could stop and see Jennifer today and Esther, and then I've got a longer stretch between Esther and Georgia. So I'd probably have to stay overnight somewhere. And then I wouldn't have to go to Athens. I could just go straight to LJ. I'd have to have a room there. And how do you book a room when you know nothing about the area? You don't know what you're going to want to have for a view or anything, or where you're going to be located. And then from there, you'd go to the wedding. Well, how far is the room going to be from the wedding? If I have my car, that's okay. I can drive my car. But I can't sit for that many hours. I'll get such a bad back. So I'll have to take my walker. Even if I break it up over several days. Anyway, you really should get up and move around every hour. I should have a timer on my phone that goes off every hour. Otherwise, I have a tendency to get into my comfortable chair when I'm tired of working, which could be any time, like 3 o'clock or noon, or maybe not till 5. Usually it's before that. Oh, then I couldn't do anything else, so I could just sit in my chair for hours on end. This is good. At least this chair is rocking, and I'm not sure if this joint is moving. I mean, my knee joints are moving, but how about my oh. See, if you keep your eyes open when you're having the aura, you'll get a headache. But if you keep them closed, you still will get a headache. But I don't usually get the headaches anymore. Yay! I haven't gotten the headache since I had my last son. He's coming home for Thanksgiving Monday. We're going to go pick him up Monday morning and take him back Monday night. That'll be really nice. But COVID's on the rise again. There's 150 outbreaks in the nursing care homes. It used to be 14. But nobody really cares about Omicron anymore. The trouble with not caring about Omicron and that it's just like the flu and it's really not a big deal is that you can get long COVID. And if you have it a few times, the chances of long COVID go way up. And long COVID is no picnic. Long COVID is like old age, like when you're 80. Everything hurts and you can't do much. Unless you don't have those kinds of problems. I'm very fortunate. I'm able to do quite a lot of things. Have to pace myself. Have to sit a lot. So I have swings everywhere. And I don't want to sit. I don't mind swinging. Oh, how's my eyes now? I know my glasses on. Can feel it right in the bottom of your neck, right in the base of the skull. When you get headaches back there, it's usually to do with a smell. Lately, I feel like I can't smell very well anymore. So I'm trying to breathe more deeply and smell things. I have no idea what my house smells like. I know what other people's houses smell like. Some of them are nice, some of them are awful. Boy, I can barely see that at all. So I can't fix my spinning wheel if I can't see it. Oh, I learned something else about carding. We could card maybe. Can't see anything. Let's see if we can card without seeing anything. I'll keep my eyes closed and we'll see how it goes. Put my glasses on so I don't drop them by mistake. This was supposed to be about cleaning. I don't have much wool left in here, much fleece. Now you're supposed to hold it by the tips and then put it on your thing. The end, keep them all lined up so they're straight. You don't want them all bent over. That one's going to need a lot of work because it's got something hard at the end. So if you pick up the end, which sometimes has a crap on the bottom of it, But she was like, you got everybody that cards does it differently. It's hard doing this when you have your eyes closed. But if you hold it by the tips, then they're all lined up. I was thinking of borrowing the drum carder. Then you can make roving, and roving is so much easier to work with, so much easier to spin. Because roving is all perfectly lined up, and there's no bumps, nothing is out of place. So if you do it that way, how come I keep putting it there, but there's nothing there? Okay, that's loaded up. Probably overloaded, actually. What? I put them all backwards? I don't know what I've done. No idea. Well, at least I'm accomplishing something. No idea what it's looking like. I can smell the soybeans start to cook. Is there anything there? Where did it all go? Oh, there it is. Oh, hey, I can open my eyes and see something. Works a lot better when you can see it. Guess you have to spend time feeling it with your hands. And when I was feeling it, I didn't feel anything though. And yet it was all there, all fluff. Anyway, so I decided not to go to Georgia because just decided it wasn't going to happen. It was going to be too much tension. And it was going to cost a lot. If I couldn't stay with people, I probably couldn't stay with Jen, but I might be able to. Anyway, if I couldn't stay with people, I was going to have to pay probably about $100 a night average, maybe more. But the big thing is that we're supposed to be babysitting. So I would be leaving Willem to babysit my grandchildren. And, you know, it would work. It's doable, but anyway, so I gave it up. And I don't think it makes a difference that I'm not going to be there. I think it's going to be just fine. I don't think I will be missed. Yay! Except by my sister. That was the highlight of her trip, was that I was going to be there. Aww. How sweet. My eyes are getting back to normal. Oh yes, I can see myself very clearly now. Wow, that was weird. Okay, so some of this probably just needs to be washed first. That's what normal people do. They wash everything. Wash, 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 wash. This is the very bottom of the barrel, which is because it was so dirty I didn't feel like doing it. But it does fall out. But you get a lot of very tiny hairs, so it's probably ripping the hairs a bit. That's why it's good to just do it at the ends. But when it's too dirty, you need to pull it through the fibers. And to take it off, you go like this. And it's supposed to just take it right off. Well, what about spinning it right from here? Okay, so we have a problem with our spinning wheel, which we can now see enough to fix, but it gives me a headache to look at things. Why is this not, the flywheel is not going well? Okay, so we'll put this hook into the hole here, and it'll come out there. And then you hook this on it. And in it goes. And you hook it back, hang it back on your little spot. Okay, let's see what happens now. Now which way is to take it off? There we go. Uh-oh. This is really thin. This is really not got enough spin in it at all. Because I'd made it so thick lately, or so much spin in it, that I didn't want to, I wanted it to be fluffier. Come on, out you go. And then on your hook. There we go. All right, now let's see if we can do this properly. All right, okay, so now let's get some spin going here. And then we'll let it draw in. Okay, I'll add this to it. Bit of nature. I'm dressed like this because I was gonna go outside and cut grass, but I wanted to put on something in the crock pot, but before that I had to do the dishes. But you know, I only have one amount of energy a day. And you know what? If you rest your hands on your legs when you're spinning, it supports your back, so it doesn't hurt your back. Otherwise, your upper back can get very painful. Uh-oh, it's starting to get too tight. There's too much twist, so I'll let it out onto here. Okay, and then I'll draw it in. I missed the potluck at Mira the other day. We had a potluck on Tuesday, I think, and I didn't go. And it occurred to me, you know, listening to the promptings is not as, you know, it's pretty, you just got to get into the habit of it. I had a question in my head, is today the day that we're having the potluck, or is it some other day? And it was the day, and that happens to me all the time, of having that question, is today the day that happens? But I didn't listen. I thought, I don't know when it is. And I write these things down in my calendar on my phone, but they're not there when I look. That phone calendar is not a sure thing for me. Of course, getting a new phone messes everything up because I don't know when I wrote things down. Did I write it down before I got the new phone or after? So when you get some spin in it, it's time to put it on. It's time to let it go in. Otherwise, it's going to get too tangled or too twisted as you're working on pulling stuff out. If it's going too slowly when you're pulling things out. And now the way to know if you've got enough twist, let me show you this. Okay, you take it like this, and it should be that, and that's the right amount of twist. Haha, I did it right. Can you imagine? Me. But if you have too much twist, well, let me just keep twisting it and show you what happens when you have too much twist. Now you go like that, and it, well, that still is okay, isn't it? But it starts to feel like cord instead of fluffy yarn. So just add more, just take it out farther. But you have to stop spinning the wheel. See, now try it. See? It makes a nice one. And then the way I add the next bunch is I open this up and I stick some ends in. And then I just keep going. And you want it feels good when you're just going like that with your pedal, but that's going to be too much, and then you get too much spin. Oh, look, blue sky. Oh, yay. Blue sky. Really, when I see blue sky, you'd think that it was like Christmas. Blue sky. As soon as, why is it that I feel that way when I see blue sky? Why can't I just tell my mind, white sky, yay, white sky? You know, like, why do I have to always be dependent on blue sky? You'll see this part here, the spin is tight here, and then the spin is here, but this part doesn't have any. So if you open it up, put your finger in it, and then just pull a bit. Start at the beginning. Oh, there's that cat again. Cute little kitty cat. Here to eat my birds. Go home, kitties. Go home. You don't live here. So you're getting the hang of this? You seeing how it's done? So you have this big amount here, and this has no twist in it. And so it'll let you pull. But if you allow the twist to go into it and it starts twisting up, you can't pull it so well. Little cat is running. I wonder what he's got in his mouth. He's gone now. I have stopped feeding my birds. It's not safe. But the birds come anyway, and they're picking them up off the ground, which I feel is even more dangerous for the birds. Because these cats live under the deck. Maybe I should just put, hey, I could do that, you know. I could create a little wall under the deck there so that they can't just come out and eat the birds. Uh-oh, see how it's gotten really thin there? So you can do different things with it. You can probably just let it unravel there is best. And then just it'll grab whatever's against it. So you can put more wool on it. You have to play with it to find out how much twist is the right amount. And if it stops drawing in, you have to stop. You can't just keep pedaling hoping it will draw in a minute, which is what I do, which doesn't work. have this book called, well, I have two books. I'm not sure which one is the one that I like the best, but it was teaching about how to spin, and it gave these troubleshooting things, fixes. Very important to have the right fixes, you know. See, when you pull this, it pulls apart, but you have to make sure you don't let it pull apart too much or not enough. You have to let your hand go as soon as it's pulled apart to the right amount. Look at that, blue sky, but then really dark sky over there too. That wouldn't pull apart properly. Uh-oh. And when you let go of it, you can wrap it around this post here, and then it won't pull in. Okay, blue sky is out there. Maybe I can go out and cut grass then. I have to empty the Willow out of the car. Willem? Are you up? Willem? Willem?
Yeah.
Would you mind unloading the car for me, please?
Unloading the car, okay.
I have a lot of willow in it. I went by the roadside yesterday and found willow, because I was kind of out of willow, but I needed to make this basket because Ava said I needed to. Thank you, Willem.
Where do I put all that stuff that's in the car?
Up here on the deck.
Okay.
You can put it on my table there if you want.
Good.
Thank you so much. Now don't forget to move this thing along here as this gets full. Now this is called a single, which is one ply. So I'm making singles. And then later I will take two of them together and I'll make a two ply, double ply. Two ply, I guess it's called. If it's very thin, you might want to make three ply. When you make your wool really thin, let's see how twisted up this gets. That's not too bad. When you make it really, see, you've got to watch it. You can see, I guess you want to come closer, don't you? When you pull it, you see how it's all the same amount, but you pull it. Now this is fine. So you should probably incorporate that already. Then you pull it a little more, and as soon as it releases and it becomes the right thickness, you have to be careful because sometimes you'll end up with fat thin, fat thin, fat thin. So you have to make sure that you let the spin go into it before you pull again. Like that, just got thin right there. I was really impressed with how much willow I was able to harvest along the roadside. It's in the ditch and it was quite short, but I wrote it down on my GPS. I saved every spot. I have a GPS, the old kind that's in the car that sticks to the windshield, because those don't need cell service, remember? You don't need data for that, and they work when there is no cell service, because they're from satellite stuff. Old technology, right? Anyway, so I saved the location and I write down, like yesterday, I had saved a bunch of places that I just called Willow. But what I needed to do was to say that what year, because, you know, if I see it, that's one thing, but if I go in and I cut it, then the next year it'll be straight and perfect for basketry. So I did that. I wrote down, I saved it as Willow 2022. So now when I look up when I do a search for willow in locations, it will show me willow 2022, and by then it'll be 2023 or 2024, and I'll know that that was the year I coppiced it. Coppiced is the word for cutting the willow. Cut it all off. Thank you so much. Okay then. Well, it looks like it's getting to be not so gray out there.
Yeah.
So I could probably go and fill up the car with
More
grass. I don't want to cut more willow until I'm ready for using it. I've cut a lot of it already, I think. I have enough to make another basket as well as finish this one I'm working on. I'd like to use cattails more, but I didn't really harvest that much. But it's all been dampened now, so it'd be good for making things out of, because it's all been, you know, rained on. This spool is getting quite full. It'll hold more though. I was finding that one basket full, I've got this basket I found at the dump. I use this instead of my baskets because I want the fabric instead of the willow. I don't want it to grab and have fleece all stuck in it. Now see these bumps there? Uh-oh, and then look, it got too thin. Let's go back to this and we'll open it up and pull. Oh, my soybeans are done. I was gonna go to the farmer at the corner and ask him if I could buy a bag of soybeans from him. But it's Pioneer, which is all genetically improved or genetically modified. So I don't know about doing that. This is pretty tight there. I have to release this. Now you can also spin backwards to release the tension. But look what happened here. So let's not do that. Let's go back. Pull it out. And then we'll put it on the hook. And we'll spin it on again. So going backwards is really not a good idea. All right. The time when you get too much spin in it is when you are trying to undo a big bump. And that's when you really need to stop the wheel. Because the big bump takes longer to get rid of than just regular. This is called drafting, when you let it in. Now you can get rid of all the bumps of the little short hairs in there when you're carding, or you can just let them be there and then they'll make your yarn fluffy. Or you can take them off like that. This is really getting to be a mess. But it'll balance out, you know, if you, when you ply them. You get a lumpy one and you get a thin one. I have to put my lean against something with my arms or else I'll get that pain in the center of my back. I'll get the pain anyway, so I have to lean back. Lots of nature still stuck in that. So spinning is a good thing to do when you're stuck in the house. I'm such an outdoors person, I don't like being in the house much. Which is why the house never gets cleaned. Because when I have energy, I want to do something outside that's useful and long-lasting. If you get tired of watching these videos because there's so much times where there's no talking or something, if you just check the transcript, go to the description down below, and the transcription will just give you what has been said. So if there's anything useful being said, you can just read it without having to watch this thing for an hour. However long they go. be a cleaning video according to the title, but we know how that goes. Don't forget about this. Moving it now and then. Spinning is a good thing to do while you just think. Or you can have your device playing something in the background. Do you know, in the olden days when they used a walking wheel, the great huge ones that stand up? My aunt had one in her upstairs hallway. She didn't use it, but it was there. I bet it was her mother's. I bet it was the Hamlin wheel. But the walking wheels didn't have a pedal. You had to just stand there and turn it, or you had to spin with one hand. Or draft with one hand and pull with the other, or spin with the other. So I think you really had to make roving first. Roving is so simple. Drafting is, you just need to separate the roving into the thickness to actually just go straight onto the thing, onto the bobbin. I bought roving in North Carolina once, and I went to my mother's and I spun it. And it was so simple, like you just don't draft at all. You just feed it in. You can just keep spinning. This can become more important as the prices go way up. If you can't afford clothing, you actually have to knit a sweater. Then this can be a very handy thing to know how to do, because you can make your own. It's easier to find a sheep, I think, or a shearer. Well, no, I guess it's easier to go to Walmart and buy yarn. But if you can't afford it, once you've got your wheel. Now, when you buy fleece, if you buy it at like the co-op, the Wool Growers Cooperative or something, if you buy fleece, you're going to end up, this is very much like a cord now. Half of the weight is usually dirt. So if you buy washed fleece, it'll be more expensive, but you're going to have twice as much for the weight. I got that out of that book I read. And a good way to get when you make a mess, like you can't create anything without making a mess, right? But when you've got fleece bits of fiber on the floor, or they get on your carpet, they get dragged all over the house with your socks or whatever, a quick way to get rid of it is to use a dog hair brush. You can also card with dog hair brushes. If you want a really perfect yarn, it has no short bits in it, a dog brush There's a good idea. This is filling right up, isn't it? Look at that. Go one more. Now when you have a bump and you let the bump go through onto the bobbin, it can often get stuck on the hooks. And then you'll find that you've got way too much, it's twisting and twisting, but it's not drawing onto the bobbin. So the sooner you fix that, the better. But you can always let out your, if you've got too much, you can let it out by just going like this. And then it'll, as long as it's not touching anything, it'll unwind. Oh, it's such a relief not to be going to Georgia. It was going to be really a lot of work. And expensive too. When it starts to twist right here on itself, you know that you got way too much spin. Or too much twist in it. All right, I think there's enough in there now. And so I'm sure that there's a better way to do this, but this is what I do. If you have enough bobbins, you just leave them on. There's a Lazy Kate, which has got 3 bobbins on it. I have a Lazy Kate and I have bobbins, but I moved them and I don't know where they are. They used to be up on top of there with the games. But I loaned the spinning wheel to Scarlett, and I don't think I loaned her those things, but I put them somewhere. Now, where would I put them? Probably upstairs in the big room. Maybe back in the corner. See, it's not kinking too badly. It's doing pretty good. So I think I've got, my spin was pretty good on most of it. It's easier to make a thick one, I think, than a thin one. I mean, when you make a thin one, you just have to keep pulling the fibers. But when it's, sometimes the wool lends itself to making thin ones. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes the wool is very straight, like if you're using, what is it called again? Roving. her holding my arms up like this for my aunt. What she was doing. Uh-oh. Well, that's a short one. Oh, I see what's happened. This needs to be glued back on. Wood glue is a very important thing to keep in your house. Wood glue, most things that are made of wood, like tables and chairs and all these things, they're all glued. Before they screw them together, they glue them. And so, or at the same time, they glue it and screw it together so that, you know, like this furniture, I brought it back from Georgia and I left it in that van for 3 days, and so all the glue got loose. So everything is a little wonky. Not everything, but some of it. See, once you ply it, it won't do that anymore. Like then it'll just hang properly. But before you ply it, it's going to have twist in it. So you've done it right. It's just not finished. The last time I made homespun, I made mittens out of it. I finally figured out how to make mittens. I make everything 2 at a time, toe up on circular needles. So I turn this slightly as I'm doing it. I have my thumb ends up in a hole. And then when I get to the end, I stick the end in the hole. That's the rope I start with. It's on my thing. Okay, so then I take this end and I stuff it in the hole. There. And now look how full the thing is. Look, we have 3 thumbs ups. Look at that. See? Getting to have a bunch. So some of these little ones make, well, let's count little ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 little ones, or probably about 8 big ones. Nice, eh? Thank you, Suze, for teaching me to, or inspiring me to go back and do this. Now that I'm not going to Georgia, I don't have to worry about what date it is all the time, except Monday is Thanksgiving, so today's Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday. I really should get some Thanksgiving foods. So I made those soybeans Thursday and Friday. I'll eat them. Saturday, babysitting. Look at this nice basket. Isn't that pretty? I have to bang it down because you can see through it on the other side. I think this is really cool. Ava wanted me to make this. She said, I need you to make a basket that's got 2 tubes, one for toilet paper and one for pads. So one big one, and get the biggest, make it big enough for a big roll, and then make it high enough for 3 because you don't want it to tip over. Then it'll go between the toilet and the wall. It'll be for extra supplies. I think it's pretty nice. I like it. I really enjoy making the bases out of wood. I think that's so much simpler than weaving the base. I mean, the base, doesn't take so long, but when you weave the base and you come down from the sides and turn them in, you have, you make a round base and then you stick spokes in all around. So it looks like a huge wheel, and then you upright them. And if they're not in deep enough and tightly enough, then they can slip out a bit and it ruins your basket. So this is pretty good. Anyway, I think that I'm going to try and go down there. The leaves are falling off the trees, so maybe I'll set you outside and let you watch the leaves fall off, but I'll do that in a new video. So thanks for showing up. It's nice to have people show up. Okay, ta-ta, bye-bye.